So Ross, which entrepreneur or company do you respect the most?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's obviously lots of celebrities, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, et cetera, that you look at and you have to admire them because of what they've built and what they've done. But I think for me, they're quite a lot closer to home in terms of the people I look at and I look at as mentors and peers and people that I've been fortunate enough to work with closely, and they've really had a massive impact on me as an individual in terms of where I am sitting here talking to you today. So, interestingly, the first one would be my father, John, and obviously he's my dad, and he's the person that's taught me more about life and business than anybody else, on planet Earth. So, my dad was my partner in the iTech business, and what he taught me, putting aside he's my dad, but what he taught me as my business partner in those days, and I was a young, aggressive, bulletproof salesman that thought he could, do everything. My dad actually taught me how to structure and build and shape a business. He taught me the importance around back office. He taught me the importance of financial prudence in a business, and perhaps most importantly, my dad was quite old school, and he taught me cash accounting. In terms of if we don't have the money in the bank, son, we ain't spending it type mentality. And me being young and wanting to invest and conquer the world quickly, he was the sounding board that brought me back down to earth. And we can't do this. We're going to run out of money, and without money, we don't have a business. So for me, that's been a really it's been a massive lesson for my career. And actually, as most of my team will say in Nebula, I'm quite neurotic about the cash. That's important, because if you don't have cash, you don't have a business. You can have a great balance sheet, you can have a great P&L, but if you don't have cash, you can't invest. You can't, you don't have that business stability. And I would say my dad instilled that to me really, really aggressively, actually, from the very early days of my career working with him. So my dad would be number one. Number two would be the former CEO of Exclusive Networks Group, Olivier Brittmeyer. Olivier and Exclusive bought iTech, and I stayed with Exclusive for 3.5 years after that acquisition, and got to be part of the executive management team of the Exclusive Networks Group, which was a magnificent experience for me. I was out of my comfort zone for a lot of it, if the reality of it, running a relatively small services business, now being part of a circa 1.2 billion euro global cybersecurity distributor, as Exclusive was then, quite a bit bigger now, I believe. But the bit that was so special about Olivier and what I took from him, and quite a lot of this, actually, I'm trying to develop and build into Nebula, into its Exclusive had something called l'esprit exclusive, which was really a culture. And that come from Olivier and filtered all the way down the business. And l'esprit exclusive was, what I took from that was a culture of winning, being successful, being dominant, but doing all of that well. Not winning at all costs, not bad mouthing your competition, not doing it, winning with class, if you will. And that's what l'esprit exclusive meant to me and many other people. And I think he managed to build that culture across circa 50, 60 countries, every different nationality, creed of people that you can imagine. And he managed to build that culture that navigated all of that and brought it all together, where everybody had the same vision, the same goal, the same belief, and conducted themselves broadly in the same way. And driving that culture through an organization that's much bigger than Nebula is today, and how he did that in such a humble and such a unassuming way was eye-watering to see, and just incredible. And as I said, what I'm trying to do is learn from that and take some of that, and that's why the culture element, things like the kickoff that we do at Nebula, I took all of that from Olivier, and how he did and how he conducted himself, and it certainly worked fabulously at Exclusive, and that business continues to go from strength to strength, and it's certainly working here at Nebula in perhaps a smaller way right now. But give us time, we're certainly on a good trajectory. And how we did that, as I said, that's been a really a big impact on me as an individual, and watching how he did things and trying to replicate that in my own style, because we're different people. You've got to do it in your own way, in your own style. But they would be two individuals that, as I said, have had a real massive direct impact on me, and I think is resonating in how we do things at Nebula.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as from a journalist perspective, he was very approachable and, as you say, very, very humble.
Yep.
The last I heard of him, he was going off to, was it racing cars or was it vintage cars or something?
Yeah, he had a pretty incredible collection of vintage cars actually,
Yeah.
and that was kind of his passion. And yeah, interestingly, day to day he always rode around on a Honda Goldwing motorcycle. He didn't actually drive a car day to day, but yeah, he had a magnificent collection of typically vintage racing cars, and that was kind of a passion of his.
Yeah, well, good choice.